Hi, everyone, and welcome to Navigating the Chaos of Manufacturing. I'm Heather Preu, CEO of Intellect, and I'll be your host today. Over the past year, I've worked closely with enterprise manufacturers across highly regulated industries, helping them modernize their quality and frontline operations while navigating increasing complexity. I'm excited to bring together both a technology provider and an analyst perspective for today's conversation. I'm joined by two analysts from L&S Research today, Allison Kuhn and James Wells. Allison and James, thank you for being here with us today. I'll let each of you briefly introduce yourself in just a moment. Today's discussion brings together 2 points of view. From our Intellect side, I'll share lessons learned from working directly with enterprise manufacturing customers over the past few years, what challenges they faced in 2025, and what we see trends being going forward, what success looks like for them, and how we've evolved to be truly customer first in supporting their digital transformation. From L&S's perspective, Allison and James will share what they're seeing across the broader manufacturing landscape, key industry trends, emerging priorities, and what organizations should be preparing for as we move into 2026. Together, we'll connect real customer experiences with analyst insight to help you better navigate disruption, reduce operational risk, and position your organization for success in the year ahead. Allison, let's start with you. Could you introduce yourself today?
Sure, Heather. Thanks for having me. I'm Allison Kuhn. I work with L&S Research, as you said, as a research focused in the future of industrial work, which covers our broader connected frontline workforce applications of the technology space. I've connected it really closely to our embedded EHS and sustainability and our newest research coverage area in knowledge management. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Allison. James, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Heather. Good to see you again. Hi, everyone. I'm James Wells. I'm a senior analyst and research director here at L&S Research. My practices are quality, operational excellence, and organizational change management. I come to L&S with 25 years of industrial quality and OpEx leadership experience that informs my practice area. So excited to be here today. I would like to give a brief introduction of L&S to your audience who may not know who we are. So L&S Research is a advisory firm to some of the world's largest manufacturers around their transformation journey. So we're a mission and vision driven organization, and we are on a mission to inform industry leaders about how to navigate their transformations and come out the other side more effective and higher performing. So thank you for having us today.
Thank you so much. So to kick this session off, let's be honest, the last couple of years have been really interesting and challenging for manufacturers, dealing with things like competition, increasing regulatory oversight, thinning margins, tariffs, workforce challenges like aging expertise and speed to train and onboard new employees. We have a lot we could talk about today, but I think an interesting place to start might be around AI. Depending on who you speak with in an organization, some people think it's a magic bullet. Others think that it's going to replace everyone in the workforce, and those thoughts can be in the same organization depending on who you're speaking with. What are you guys hearing and seeing, and how are companies navigating bringing AI into their companies?
So thanks for that question, Heather. I'd like to tee it up in terms of the degrading base case and industry challenges that we see, right? So you mentioned we've had a very difficult and trying time since COVID. In manufacturing, we've seen declining safety, quality, and productivity across manufacturing, with 2025 being the worst year on record for product recalls in the market. And then economic changes have introduced cost pressures, and that really leads to the appetite for AI solutions in manufacturing. And it's interesting because there was a recent Wall Street Journal article that showed that the higher you survey within an organization, the more optimistic and positive the outlook is for AI. And so it's in the C-suite, there is a lot of hope around the promise of AI technology in the workflow. But as you move down in organizations, trust becomes a much bigger issue, and that chain of reasoning, transparency that tells me that I'm acting on the right insight is terribly, terribly important, especially down at the front line.
Allison, anything from your perspective you'd like to share?
Oh, Heather. I mean, really, all of the things you said can be true, right? There's great optimism, and AI has great opportunities. One thing we all share in common is we've spent many years in manufacturing. So, over 20 years myself in manufacturing, I, as well as you, I'm sure, we all carry scars with those incidents that we were a part of, right? Where people did not go home as they came in. And it really is our job as leadership to send people home better than which they came. So we've had so many great improvements in AI and specifically in the EHS areas, right? We've had technologies like this around for years. Now it's really time to start looking at how can we really look at what we've been doing over the years, and really it's time to break down those traditional constraints that are holding us back. And it is the way that we've historically looked at technology as the leading edge of being able to really transform and change things, and really look, it's people that truly changes things. And if you're not there to truly be the leader that is trusted and transparent, then your transformation won't equivalent to anything much but a lot of spent time and money.
Absolutely. And I think talking about that, some of it is fear-based, right? As you go down, I think employees are worried, is this going to replace me? And I think, the first thing we all know is in manufacturing, that is not the case. I think, delivering that message around these AI tools, making them better informed, getting more timely information, more accurate information. We know these guys are working on thin margins and, improving scrap and downtime, et cetera. Any tools that can help with that are really important in the market.
Oh, yeah. We talk about, I love what you just said, Heather. We talk about costless compliance here at L&S Research, and AI is a key element of realizing that dream of compliance embedded within the work and becoming just automatic as part of the process, right? And so it's a key capability, and it's interesting because you talked about fear, and we did some research last summer on the state of industrial transformation technology, which showed a dramatic difference between leaders and followers in terms of feeling empowered and trusting the AI and advanced technologies to empower them to do better work and elevate their skill set, as opposed to that traditional fear of I'm going to be replaced by AI, which is not really reasonable within our lifetimes, I think.